Stop doing that. I can't believe you're doing that right now. Put that away. Gross. No, no, not you. You. You know which one of you it is. Excuse me, I have what? How dare you? Chat, how many people are not wearing pants right now? Raise your hand. Got me a unit for pants, it doesn't count. Oh, wow. Whoa. Hello, 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 little voidlings. How you doing? Don't burn gibbets. We need gibbets. We can dance though. Dancing's okay. Hi. Oh, Jenny. Okay, I thought you called me Jeremy, and I'm like that. You know, I'll take a lot of names. I will not be called Jeremy. What color will our robes? I don't know, Moreau. What color do you think our robes should be? What color do you think our robes should be, Moreau? Obviously pink. Damn. Clearly pink. What, I want that. I want a cult. All of them. Super serious. Dark like masks. Big hoods. Baby pink. Like Addie's name pink right now. Actually, I don't know if Addie's name is pink, but it's pink on my end. Just like really, really, really pink. Because it'd be so funny. It'd be the funniest thing. Imagine them like aggressively walking towards people going do, 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 do. Just bright Barbie pink. Barbie pink, exactly. Needs to be happening. So chat. Sorry. We're going to be streaming on TikTok soon. Not today. I did get everything set up, but we're not doing TikTok streaming today. We will be doing TikTok streaming soon. So, expect either some weird people coming in. What do you mean, L? We're going to be streaming on Twitch too. And Twitch has my focus. Don't worry, Twitch has my focus. In fact, the point of TikTok is to bring people in from outside, okay? Okay? And the goal is to hit partner. Because if we hit partner, chat, we run the fundraiser, new model, I go buy the VR headset that I almost bought yesterday. You won't believe what I found, chat. You know what I found? Okay. So some of you are going to be like, Gene, obviously, I know this thing. I already know all this stuff. I didn't. Have you played VR chat? Have you played VR chat? Have you? Tell me how many of you have actually played VR chat out there? No? Okay, yes. So some of you have. Some of you haven't. First off, there are game worlds. There are game worlds. You know the game that we played, Exit 8, where I ran around in a circle for a long time and I had to see what was different each time? Or like the one at the museum? They have a map like that, so you just VR walk through it. They have another one where you go fishing. And we just fish. And there's all these different games. You know what that means, chat? You know what that means? Partner? 3D model? Doing some solo VR stuff, you know, like I'll be like live zones, and then I can bring in chat and we can game together and do some of these cool VR worlds. It's the closest we're gonna meet in person. So you should want me to stream on TikTok so that I move further and higher up and stuff. I mean, it's gonna be like a lot of like me doing solo instances of worlds, but like right. Oh, the game's done. I was downloading a game. I was kind of delaying things so I could do my game download in the background. Some solo VR stuff and some stuff with other people. So the goal is, a lot of these masks, the VR headsets, have full facial tracking. So like, I can do more expressions, and I can still wear the mask and be in-game. And so y'all can be in-game with me being... It's just gonna be so cool. Because I just bought the game at the beginning of stream. So yeah, it's so cool. Now, this is going to be expensive, of course, but cheaper than I thought it would be. Because I've been talking to one person about doing a model, and hypothetically, this could end up being a lot cheaper. Also, so yeah, the reason I know about this is because yesterday I got invited to like a meet and greet thing, and it was like a low key, chill hangout thing. And I met this person who's super cool. She's some sort of cat god VTuber, does all like VR stuff. Oh, I should probably shout her out, shouldn't I? I think this is their name. Hopefully this is her. If it's not, then it's going to be awkward. Or streamer mode. There it is. Okay. Let's see if this works. Yeah, go check them out. So, quality could make or break you. What do you mean? Of the model? Oh, yeah. So she does like traditional VR chat style models, this person. And which is really, would be really cool. And she does, it was so cool. Okay, like I'm sorry, I'm getting like really excited all of a sudden. So she has like two different like outfits that she has. She actually like 3 or 4 different models, but she has 2 main models. One of them was like a construction worker. And so she swapped to construction work and she's like, oh yeah, like let me put up a bench here and you could sit on the bench and do stuff. She pulled out planks of wood and started building a tree house in a random tree. And it was so cool. It was so cool. And I was like so entranced. And then she's like, yeah, like, I mean, like the highest I ever charged for like a model, she said was like $2,000. It's like a VR chat style model, like all custom made and stuff. And so the idea is I could get my like final 3D model made by this person who does like very like specifically skilled 2D to 3D rendering kind of things. But then I would have a like optimized VR chat model made by this person that I could do. Oh, hi! Hello! I wasn't talking about you. Don't worry about it. Hello. Nice to meet you. Well, I've met you already. Anyways, this is them, chat. Say hi. Yes, they do. I was just talking about like the model designs that you do and like my plan of doing like models and things. But yeah. So that is the potential plan. So again, TikTok streaming to try to get that viewer average up. If we can get that 50, we do the fundraiser, we get the models, and then we enter like the whole new era. I mean, I'm talking, I have lore jumps planned. We have the art that Aiko is working on. Yes, I am building up your treehouse. It was really cool. Actually, I think I saved that picture you took. I might need to see if I can find it. I will be doing a anime style audio drama, which, please do! Which, chat, I may have, like, guest spots open to do, add additional voices to the anime-style audio drama, if people are interested. Just to be like, look, even my chat gets to be part of this, Okay, my redeems did break. 1 second. It's so cute. Okay, I'll catch up on, hey, Jazzy Buns! we're just going through everything. Give me a second. I have a thing to do for you. Don't go anywhere. This is very important. I need to show you all something, okay? It's very, very important. Don't leave yet. Don't leave. You have to stay. Hello, Raiders. Can we get a shout out for them, though? Hi, Jazzy Buns. How you doing? Twitch activity feed. Okay. Sorry, this is just going to be a quick little thing. But Jazzy Bounce, how was your stream? Was it good? Did you have a good stream? What'd you do? I'm doing well. I'm a bit scattered right now because I went into stream and I was like, hey, I'm going to do all this stuff, and then I forgot to set up half of the things. But yeah. So here, I'm gonna take you to a new room I had built recently. I think your viewers might like it. It's a very pretty room. It's very simple. Just give me a second. Okay, so here it is. Here's the brand new basement. And I don't know if you all have heard about this before, but did you know that you have to hit a 70 viewer average to get partnered on Twitch? And they've started wanting to make sure that you actually have those viewers. So I came up with a plan. Yeah. Hi. Cool. Good. You're gonna be stuck here for the stream. And we'll see how long I keep you here. It's comfy though, right, chat? It's very comfy. Huh? No. See, it doesn't change perspective. That's how you know it's you locked in. So come here. Look. The cage moves, and I can do a little, shake again. Don't throw up like last time, please. Please don't throw up like last time. Good. But yes, sorry. What are you doing? Do we get watered? No. Maybe. I'll think about it. What did I just say about throwing up? What did I? But thank you for the follow. Okay, let me go back. Jazzy. You said you were playing. We played Date Everything. Oh, Date Everything is so good. Who'd you like? Are you just starting, or have you played it before? Oh, right. The door. It's kind of hard. I'm not gonna let you out. Read a couple of scary Ouija stories. Oh, cool. And watched a tiny bit of Sam and Cole. Who's your favorite? I want to judge you a little bit. Tell me who your favorite is, and that way I can be. Shut up, chat. I'm talking to new guests. Well, I've met you before, Jazzy, but you know. Fine. The snacks are still there. Give me a second. There. Eat your snacks. Shush. Okay, which one do you like? Tony. Oh, I do owe the guest a sub. Jazzy, you won. Give me a second. I'm sorry, I was excited talking to people, okay? Yes. Also, sorry, if you need a raid and run, that's totally fine. I get that too. I just get excited when we have guests over. Well, it's when we have guests stuck over. Oh, I need to fix this one sec. Sam and Colby wise, I don't watch them alike, but if it's that everything, Drysdale? I accidentally upset Washford. I upset Washford so aggressively. I thought I was like, oh, we're just bantering and we're just talking. He's like, I hate you now. I'm like, oh, no, Washford, please, my old man Yowie. It was awful. Where did it go? Chat, I need to fix notifications because they keep covering up my face, and how am I supposed to make TikToks out of this content if things keep looking over me? Wait. Chat, I've lost my notifications. Which one of you took my notifications? Who took the notifications? Where are they? Oh, there they are. Okay. Meow. All right, there we go. That should work. I got distracted. Oh no. Hi, Starry Night Bloom. Lovely to meet you. Stream was good. We played Date Everything and then read a couple. Oh, I already read that. Yes. Okay, let me calm down. I'm talking too quickly, and I'm sure anybody whose first language isn't English is very. I froze. Oh no! Wait. Hey! Why am I getting hit again? Why are you all so mean to me? Stretch, right, and let me catch up on redeems. All right, lovelies, be patient while I catch up. I mean, it's not like you're going anywhere. You're still stuck there. Okay, first off, let me go to the beginning. Boku, thank you for... Oh, thank you. That was nice. Okay, sorry. Thank you, Boku, for getting first. Thank you, Full Metal Brookie, for getting second. Thank you for Dwarf for getting third. And thank you to all of you who checked in. We're going to get a little hi, Dwarf. Hi, Neeks. Hi, Katarnia. Hi, Spell. Hi, Allie. Hi, Naptime. Hi, Boku. Hi, Gibbets. Hi, Vanya. Hello, Vanya. Mwah. Reached 5 stream streak. Vanya's leading that one. Hi, Addie. Hi, Goldie. Hi, Moon. Hi, Pink. Hi, Ace of Spades. Hi, Silvervang Rose. Hi, Crucified. Hi, Becca. Thank you for the stretch. This one's for Crucie. I'm such a good doggy. Thank you for the raid, Jazzy. We already said thank you. Sakona, thank you for having that high stream streak. Aura, thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Lily, thank you for the follow. Starry Night Bloom, thank you for the follow. Fog Sprite, thank you for the follow. And also, how dare you bonk me? How dare you? You come in here, follow me, and just bonk me? Insane. Crazy. Oh, there's another one. Chat, you know I'm not a dog, right? I mean, like, look at these ears. They're human. They're human. Fine. I'm such a good doggy. Hydrate was under the shout out. Cheers. Did you know that you shut up, King? Did you know that you can carbonate anything? And I mean anything. Do you know what I'm drinking right now? Carbonated lemon tea from Arizona. They should not have given me a soda stream. I should have been banned. It's only gonna get worse. Okay, Sakona, just for you. Arf, arf, I'm such a cute little puppy. Happy. Love the dad laugh. The dad laugh. Decided to give Pug Gene a hot pink call. Wait, Moreau, have you finished it? Are you done with it? Is it done? Can I? Oh, the picture. Sorry. Okay. We have so many things. I'm doing so much right now. Thank you, Crucie. Thank you, lovely. I appreciate that one, actually, giving me the... Okay. Let me do one thing at a time, chat. Let me catch up. Y'all dance. Chat, just have a little dance party while I'm fixing things real quick. Can you do that for me? There it is. Love y'all. God, y'all have such good dance emotes. I'm glad I have at least one cool wiggle emote. I just need to have a full-on dance one. The YBBNO $sign. I am the Gen Z Eminem. All right, where were we? Okay, TTS should be up now, chat. If you want to refresh your stream, you'll have TTS options. Jazzy Bunny, again, thank you so much for the raid. I really do appreciate it. And I hope I can treat your community as, well, I'll treat them exactly like I treat my own community. Chat, don't set them on fire yet. Wait until Jazzy leaves before you set anybody on fire, okay? All right, and next, I did want to show you all. But unfortunate souls in pain, in need. You know that shit, boy. All right, chat. I wanted to show you all the freaking sick treehouse, okay? It was so dumb and cool, and I loved it, and it was like... I don't know. I don't know why. It was the coolest thing ever. So this is the treehouse that they built. Oh, hey, Kat. What are your pronouns?
For the
if you don't mind me asking.
If you aren't in Discord,
you know what,
you
chat?
should be.
Can you all tell me what pronouns?
Safe community. Come join the madness.
Chat, can we do a little pronoun check? Run me by your pronouns. She, her, valid, valid, valid. And here's the treehouse. Look at that. Look at that. They just stopped. Like, we were all fishing, and they just started building a treehouse. And it's so freaking cute. Is that adorable? And you can see them there. I'm the one laying in the doorway, and they're kind of peeking out through it. So cool. She, her, daddy, mommy, tired, valid, valid. La vaca. Oh, shoot, chat. Come on, don't tempt me like that. Don't tempt me like that. Fine, I'll let you out of the cage just for this one, okay? There you go. Wait, what's this do? I'm pixelized. I'm a video game now. Would you play this game, chat? Would you play this game? This is the kind of game that will eat you. Have you heard El Beeper? No, I haven't. I kind of like being a video game, chat. Wait. I want to be a video game more often. Me? What? See where your parents went? No, of course not. And why do I have a knife? It's to cut the cake I buy you. I promise I won't do anything with it. Not while you're looking, at least. Anyway, sorry. This song's so good. Anyways, chat. Check out Jazzy. For those of you who haven't yet, go check out Jazzy. And for those of you who haven't checked out...
Gene just like being a video game because he wants us all to play with him.
No. Auditioning for Dead by Gene Light. Exactly. Go check out Jazzy and go check out Kat. Both very cool people. Love them both so very much. Even though I just met Kat. Kat, you aren't like a serial killer or anything, are you? Should I be worried about you? I trust them. I'm sure they're fine. No worries. Okay. It has been 30 minutes since we started stream. And so you know what that means. We're going to play a dumb game today. And the stream's also going to go a little bit longer because I needed to take a nap, by the way. I took like 15-minute naps all day throughout work. Don't tell anybody. I kind of like just like kept working a little bit. Then I put an alarm on and then go back to sleep. Hi, Toho. Yo, no, don't call my boss. I mean, I don't have a boss because I'm an anime boy online. I don't know, Nix. You don't feel like you're obligated to stay for any of it, okay? Vaca, moo, la vaca, moo, la vaca, moo. I can actually kind of slightly salsa dance, but that's neither here or there. You make sure to leave early. Karami, I only had Minecraft open all day. I only played it for like 30 minutes. You can't. Uh-huh. Oh yeah, no, I'll be going for at least another like probably 2 hours at least. So you're good. Oh no, I'm gonna be called out for every claim I've made. What do you mean you gotta leave early? Leon? Leon from Resident Evil? Leon Kennedy? Oh, no, sorry. Whoops, I forgot about that. I'm so confused. Anyways, chat. So, today... Oh, thank you for the pets. We are going to do a little horror game for a period of time. But I wanted to play this because it's going to be a little goofy. Because they give you a gun. And apparently it's still kind of spooky, but I have a gun. I mean, like... Imagine. How to tell people not trip all over the excess legs when dancing? Genuine question. Dwarf. It's called falling with style. That's how. I'm excited for this game. I'm excited. Ah. No, not gonna do that. Not gonna do that for this one. Because people complain. But Chewie. Actually, what's this game called again? CHUIXE? Oh no, I can't find the game. That's somebody's name. No! Chat, the game's in Japanese. How do I find it? Lavaka. I found it. Okay, we're good. Put it in Japanese. Yeah, I tried. Oh, that's how you spell it. I kept misspelling it. All right, I need to move chat a little bit. Chat, you're blocking my view again. I can't believe you. Why would you do this? Every time I stream and you're all just like, Gene doesn't need to see. He needs to be looking at our text instead. Lavaka. Moo. Can we be let into the... No. Oh, fine. Okay. Will you behave yourself if I let you out? Chat is John Cena. Oh. You can't see me. Well, then I'm not gonna let you out. What do you mean, no? You can't even lie? Not even a split second is oh yeah, Gene, I'm gonna do horrible things. I'm going to ruin everything you have. Just... Not a single one of you, like 3 of you said yes. There's an insurmountable amount of no's right now. I'm honestly a little bit, I mean, what? Okay. Lavaka. We're little. Don't say that. Don't call yourselves little goons. Voidlings. Y'all are voidlings. Little voidlings. Isn't that right, chat? Little voidlings? Hello, Idea Void. Hello, Idea Void. Oh, hello, guys. This was a person that I met yesterday. They're very, very cool. They do cool things. I like them. They were one of the ones who scouted me and invited me to the thing. It was not a secret initiation into any sort of like armed forces. So that was a little disappointing. I was hoping to be drafted into some sort of like secret agent program. But I did meet cool people, so that is what matters. And somebody built a treehouse. Cat. Y'all met them earlier. Yes, I call all of my lovely, lovely streamers voidlings. Wait, what? What do you mean it is? You don't understand how unphysically fit I am. This is not a good idea. I will die 3 seconds in. I will step out of the van that you bring us there in. I'm gonna fall off. I'm gonna land on a sharp rock, impale myself, bleed out everywhere, and die. So, Daddy Honeybun the Goonabella? What? 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 Huh? No, don't yes that. Me dysfunctional? What? Never. I'm so functional. The only diss I have is Alexa, tell me a joke about diss. I'm being ignored by. Wait.
He started a food delivery app. Surcharge.
What? What? I don't know. Anyways, that's fine. It's fine. Apparently, the Alexa doesn't want to tell me a joke. So pretend I said something funny. Everybody, laugh. Wait, what was what noise? No, laugh harder. Laugh harder. Big laughs, emotes, or something. There we go. At least know you're an L. Why are you? Y'all are so mean to me. Y'all are the you're lucky I love. Don't. Hey, why are you hitting me again? I need to add a sound effect to this. No. This is why I need new friends. I will commit violence upon your head. By the way, I do love you platonically. Y'all are so sweet. God damn it, we doing this thing again? All right, we got this. Picking on Gene again, Chad.
So funny?
Hello, Vintage. How you doing? Nah, we still friends. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it, my lovely, lovely, lovelies. My little voidlands, we are definitely still friends. I'm doing, well, I'm stuck in a southern voice for a little while, so I'm doing all right. As all right as I can be. Right, the game. All right. Shoot, how are we gonna do this? Gonna pop on over here? There we go. What the hell kind of noise was that? I mean, what the hell kind of noise? Why was he sounding like he was choking on it? Please. That was awful. That was the worst thing I've ever heard. Man, my brain ain't working right now. There it be. All right, there's my game captures. We're gonna do a little sound test in just a second. Are we ready? Oh, I guess I gotta change the category of the thing, right? What are we doing again? Chuxie. There it is. Hey, there's actually other people playing it right now. I do my best, mamas, I swear. Oh, Allie, we talked about this. Do you mind if I make the little announcement right now? Or do you want to wait until another time? Oh, all right. Chat, we have another mod joining us. We did have a space needed for one, and Allie has proven themselves already to be a fantastic person. So we're going to be bringing Allie on as an additional mod. Oh, wait, that's not what I want to do. Mod. There you go. Congratulations on your mod privileges. They're going to be acting a lot as like intermediaries, especially when, if ever I need to talk to somebody, I'm always going to have Allie there. They're going to be a fantastic witness, as well as just, a fantastic moderator. I wish them all the best of luck. I mean, genuinely, I wish you the best of luck of being a mod here. And I appreciate all you're going to do. All right. We ready? Are we ready? Ready to help me do a little sound test real quick? All right. A 3. A 2. Destin, 1, 2, 3. What do you mean, make Allie make Gene's intro to the server prettier, please? What do you mean? Anyways. Oh, can you genuinely? Hey, there might be more reasons to have you brought on. Alright, so this game is a body cam game, alright? Oh, whoops. Monsters also love gold coins, and the world is littered with coins that they've accidentally lost. I feel like I missed a no. Oh, right, are we still doing Southern? Wait, why am I doing... Oh, wait, we have Southern first, and then we do German in a bit. Alright, there we go. Move left, rocker. Right, rocker. Oh, why are they giving me... Okay. Left mouse button, T. Control, C, R, right mouse, W, shift. Perfect. Alright, we're right. Wait. Huh? Help? Help? Chat, I broke... Oh, come... There it is. That I had to alt-tab to hit that. Yeah, no, don't worry about me having a gun, chat. Hey, chat, when was the last time I played a game where I got a gun? And now we have to do this stupid voice. Alright, flashlight. Where's my flashlight? What do I have here? Left and right, and shift and W, and crouch. Ooh, T, there it is. It's a supermarket game. Oh, have a good one, Vintage. Be good. Have a good one. By the way, is the audio okay? Can you hear everything fine? Wait, how do I pick this up? Ah, scheiße. Okay, maybe... there it is. Figured it out. Yeah, okay. Look, as an American, I am legally allowed to waste all the ammunition that I want, okay? And you can't stop me. It's like they're playing Rainbow Six Siege right now, chat. Wait, here we go. Shoo. Okay. No, so the trigger discipline is you always keep your finger on the trigger so that you're always ready to shoot. Right? And you point the gun up at the sky because there's never anybody in the sky, so you can't shoot them there. That's what you should do. Walk around with the gun pointed at the sky and your hand on the trigger. It is exactly how you should hold guns all the time. It is reported that there are frequent missing people in the hospital, and the police have been looking for a long time without results. It seems that they only invite that is a very easy word to pronounce. Could somebody pronounce this for me? Yes, exactly. That's not this word. The invite physic investigate. No, so, I know the word. Why can I? Psychic. Yes, psychic. That's what it is. Psychic investigators to come. There we are. Nazi investigator. Clearly, that word is very short. Gene could pronounce that word. Can't be that word that he needs. Aha. Yes. Open. Oh. Oh, hello. Let me shoot it. Chat's the game, let me shoot it. Yeah, you point the gun at Gene. You point the gun at me, chat. No. So you should be pointing the gun. I mean, let's be honest, chat. You should point the gun at the ground. So that way, if you shoot into the ground, it's fine. You should keep your finger off the trigger. That way, yeah. Hello. That way, if anything does happen. Hello? Like, you don't worry about shooting it, you don't cock it. Never look down the gun barrel, even if you think it's unloaded, etc., etc., etc. We vibe, we good? And never keep one in the chamber. Remove the magazine, and then you rack it, releases the last round, and then you're good. Oh, gold. Hello, gold. Give me your gold. I would like your gold. Do 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 do. Yes, always keep one in the. That's not how you were before. Where's your head damage? You didn't fall like this before. Oh. Ah, wait. Go through the wall. Go through the wall. Enter the void. Okay, and now I will get involved in here. I have an idea. Exactly. Chat, when I do get the VR models, I hope you're ready for me to play this stupid game where I'm like, all you do is you go out into the Oh, I don't own a gun. I do not own a gun. Oh, shoot. Retry alternative. No. But yes, so I don't own a gun. But as a person, who could, because, my, Sis does nothing against them. What the heck? Oh, okay, so when I activate one of these. There we are. There we are. I got this.
Damn. Get good, bro.
Oh! Who this Goofy? Hey, chat. Hey, chat. I'll be right back. I need to do something. Give me a second. Don't worry about what's happening right now, chat. I want to see what... Oh, we're doing Portal 2. Oh, no, sorry. I wanted to go check out... the person I shouted out earlier? They are streaming, and I haven't actually seen one of their streams yet. I wanted to see what it was like. Okay, here we go. Oh, I have so little bullets. Oh. she's here. All right, we gotta see if we can find anybody around here. Oh. This game is great. Thank you for the follow. We're gonna be heading in there right now. I'm gonna see if we can take him out. All right, Bravo 6, going dark. Oh. Should I've tried that door instead? Well. Oh, you want this to be a redeem? Can't help you there. Why is Gene Austin? No, I'm Austin now. My name's Austin. Everybody, what's up? My name's Austin. I'm 16 and I never learned how to read. Hey, is that a thing I can shoot? Oh, give me a second. Alright. I am sorry, but thank you, Dracula. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. I'm so confused right now. Oh, I can't figure this out. I mean, there's something here. Don't you be lurking. Stay here. What if I touch? Can I touch it from a distance here? No, not even a little bit. How would you sound Scottish? Oh, I honestly don't know. I don't think I can do Scottish. It's not in my repertoire, as they might say sometimes. Honestly, most of the British ones are not really on my radar. All of them end up sounding Australian. 'Cause Australians have the really fun accent. I mean, honestly, it's a lot more fun than you might think. Oh, shit! I figured it out. I'm gonna hit this button. We're gonna crouch. Yes, look at it. Look how easy it was. I'm such a genius. Honestly, such a genius. Can't blame me for that one. Figured it out. What the button do? What was even the point of that? I don't know what I'm doing. Hi, sorry, I'm... You're higher Australian or Scottish? There is no way. I found bullets! Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, I can't either. He was to distract me. Ah. Well, color me distracted. Someone heard a strange noise behind the bookshelf. Is it haunted? I'm haunted, chat. Anyone else is haunted? These nuts. Picture. Uno reverse can't get Uno reverse, chat. I snorted out. Oh my god, he's got flappy feet. Ah! Alright. What the heck is this? Wait. I have a feeling. You! No! Stop hurting me! Die! This is the best. This is such a good game. There's more of them! There's more! There's more! I was not expecting it! Why are there more of you? Stop it! Bad. 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 Okay, we're good. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine! Yes. Yes. Chat. I can't read. Oh, coin. Was there no point to this? You all waste my time. Hate you. Who's that wandering in the sea? Yeah, this is like a paranormal investigation spot, and we're trying to make it out, I think. It's an indie game. It's like a really small indie game. Exactly. I'm helping them make their Halloween costumes.
Gene helping people with their Halloween costumes by
Exactly.
making eye holes for ghosts.
Okay, I'm missing something here.
What could it be? What am I missing?
That's gonna be in my New Zealand accent. Is just doing an orc voice, just going.
Well, what have we here?
I'm back. Welcome back, Molly May. Your uni sucks, and I'm sorry to hear that. I hope uni gets better.
This is my Scottish. Here we are.
Okay, so clearly it's something. Oh. See, I was intimidated by the books, honestly. If you move, I will pee. Okay, we're fine, chat.
Oh, those were ghosts. I thought he stumbled into a rally meeting. My bad. Was kind of proud of him for shooting, but now I'm kind of sad he is hurting.
Don't worry. We'll play Red Dead. We were still playing Red Dead. That'll be an option. Hello. Buddy. There we go. Who's that wandering through the trees? It's two sailors in there on leave. Do, 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 do. Who's your daddy? Yes, I am. Ba, 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 da, ba, 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 da, ba. Ba, 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 da, ba, 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 da, ba. Chat, implying the joke, you might as well make the joke. As long as it's not, you know, the worst thing in the world. Oh my god, it's a dancing fat rat man? Huh? Why are we a dancing fat rat man? Yeah? You wanna dance, man? Get him getting jiggy. Look at him getting jiggy, chat. Look at him getting droga. He gets to live. Unless he turns around and screams at me, in which case, you know. Get it, Until you cheddar-headed, watch the way I navigate. Ah, ha, 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 ha.
The elevator's under repair, and if you want to get to the hospital, you can try the ventilation ducts over there, but you may need the right tools.
Okay, cool. Glad to know. Glad to know.
He's busting it down.
Hi, vampire.
He's a quirked up white boy who's a little goated with the sauce. I'm busting it down, sexual style.
There you go. Biker mice. The intruder's note. I heard that there's a secret room here, which must be hidden valuable things. I've been unable to find the entrance. Oh dear, oh me.
Master Splinter.
Biker mice from Mars? That can't be a thing. I know. I was quoting what Crucy said.
Oh my god, it's a pen. He was a bear. He was a man. He was a bear. He was a man-bear pig. Guys, I'm super serious right now. He's a man-bear pig.
Daddy Piggy? No, Carmilla. Damn, girl. I mean, we know your type. I've heard bad things about the British men, but I didn't think it was that bad. Actually, that's a good point. I'm sorry. That was... No, I've been attracted to many British men. It's fine. But I also have bad taste in people. Daddy picking ya? No. It's the accent. No! Leave! Don't! Ah! No! Ah, he's red! Go away from me, angry man! Somebody clip that. I don't want that saved on my phone.
That's your bloody pig. That's your bloody pig right there. Bravo 6 going dark.
Ghost from Black Ops. What is he? Not Black Ops. Yeah, from Black Ops. What is he? Oh, well, okay. No, he's daddy, doesn't count. He's British? Okay. I need to figure out how to do his voice. Well, I could figure out how to do him. That'd be next. He'd be next on my list if I could figure out. Who's that wandering in the trees?
Gotta go deeper. How deeper do I gotta go? How deep do I gotta... I mean, if I go down deep like this, eventually it's... There you go. Alright. Well, deeper. And now we're back in New York territory. There you are. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but animals.
Koenig is better than Ghost. Who's Koenig? Is German? Oh, shoot. I gotta figure out how to do... Okay, somebody remind me to set up the clip command eventually. A big Aussie. 7-foot Aussie.
Aussie.
I'm so lost and confused. I wish I wasn't confused. Karmia used to be so kind to me. No, you weren't. I'm sorry for lying. Da 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 da. I've put it already in there. A whole new world, don't you dare shut your eyes. No one to tell us no, or where to go. Why am I lost again? A whole new world, the rug won't go down. I think we'll freeze to death up here.
I'm not there, snap up the gag one.
I can't figure this out. There's something here. I know there is. The rug is Persian, you don't ride Persian. No one to tell us no, where to go. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Now I'm in a whole new world. I can see there's things back there, and I need to figure out how to get back there. Let me back there, man. Ah. I want to be where the people are. I want to see them dancing. Ah. Ah. Yay! Found it.
An evil egg.
Oh. Well, that's not scary. Thank you, I need the serotonin.
Yeah! Evil egg. Evil egg for evil gang breakfast.
Checking I get an evil gang.
Evil gang, hatching all the way to the bank.
No. I broke the egg, it's fine.
Evil bird, evil gang.
Evil Big Bird. Allie, I have an important question for you. Are you afraid of Big Bird?
Evil gang.
Hi, Vanya. I'm outside. What are you doing? I'm gaming. We're gay men. Gaming. We're gaming. Nothing. Ignore me. I wanna be gay men. More of that, please. Yes, gaming. Hello, Harpy. How you doing? Sorry, hello, XO, Harpy, OX. Sorry, hello, X0. Is it an O or a 0? It's important to me. Oh, 0. Okay. X0, Harpy, 0X. How you doing? You got that old school emo vibe. Stop being a cheer! I will call you Harpy. It's fine. Wait. Do you have Gur emotes? Do you have Gur emotes? Harpy. Are you like I don't know. I think you're cool. I have a vibe about you that you're cool. You seem cool. Stop growling at me! Nah! No, but I'm scared of Big Bird. Not. Ah! Oh, okay, cool. That was important to me. I mean, to be fair, giant bird, a little scary. I mean, you've seen ostriches. What kind of bird is Big Bird supposed to be, by the way? This... An eldritch horror. Honestly, valid. So valid. How you doing, girlfriend? I do think it's funny that every time they put me back in this game, they're like, we're gonna turn off the flashlight for you. You don't need a flashlight. You don't need a C. Here we go. All right, chat. You know, we're gonna work on this together. You know, we're gonna work on this together. On our way for them to come around this corner, we're gonna start lighting them up, right? Careful. There's one shot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 shots all it take. All right, now we're gonna wait for the next one. I'm gonna grab him. Oh, he's coming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Easy. You watch that. So proud of all of you. So proud. Oh God, what just happened? Oh, coin. I have a small gold harvest. Yay! I want to be where them people are. No! Leave me alone. Leave me alone and I don't shoot you. There we are. Oh, she's eating like steaks. What a good girl. Not eating people. I know, honestly, children are one of the most... That was a cutout! What the hell? Why? Nothing else in this game has really gotten me. It's a freaking two-dimensional Oh, yeah, coin. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see them dancing. Oh. Huh? Oh. Whoa! Goopy boy. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we are.
It is said that weapons of the psychic investigators are unusual, all of which are opened by the enlightened monks and can deal with terrible creatures that the ordinary weapons cannot, and this weapon's only effective when used by psychic investigators.
Oh, cool. Why am I stalking the dancing? Oh, I mean... No, they're gone. I mean... I like pretty ladies, chat. I shouldn't be watching... Homie! This is so dumb. This is so dumb. This is so dumb.
When you gaze into the abyss gazes back at you. It whispers us of shadows and it murmurs of darkness, the gloom that trails behind us, but a testament to the brilliance of the light before it. Shadows, the brushstrokes of a hardship, etch resilience upon the canvas of life. In the face of trials, mortals often seek in vain for the guiding beacon, yet even when ensnared by the boundless night, one must kindle the flame face and grope forward to the obscurity with the radiance harbored within.
Anyways, sorry. Oh, cold plug! Woo! Sorry, chat, we're gonna take a break. I need to go look at the cold plug. Pug. Pug, 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 pug. Pug, 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 pug. Pug, 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 pug. Pug, 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 pug. Mr. Pug, yes, bring me a pug. Can I use it? Can I use it? Can I use it, please? Please, Moreau, can I use it? Can I make it my picture? Can I upgrade my pug to the, yay! Chat, we're upgrading pugs. Edit profile. Deactivate stream mode. Okay. All right. We're going in here. We're going. Mr. Pug, yes, bring me a pug, to make him the puggiest pug that I've pugged. And tell him that his lonesome nights are... Sandman, I'm so alone. Don't have nobody to call my own, so please turn on your magic beam. Mr. Pugman, bring me a pug. Mr. Pugman. Oh. Oh, right. There's weird writing on the wall, but it's blocked. I wish I had a gun. Aha. Guess who has a gun? Nope.
Shadow.
Shadow? The hedgehog? I've come to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He took his hedgehog fucking quilly dick and he pissed on my fucking wife. He said his dick was this big. And I said, that's disgusting. So I'm making a call-out post on my twitter.com. Shadow the Hedgehog, you've got a small dick. It's the size of a walnut except way smaller. And guess what? Here's what my dong looks like. That's right, baby. Tall, points, no quills, no pillows. Look at that. It looks like two balls and a bong. He fucked my wife. So guess what? I'm gonna fuck the earth. That's right. This is what you get. My super laser piss. Anyway, sorry. We're back to the game now. Mr. Sandman, bring me a sand. No, I have you ever seen the Mr. Sandman, man me a sand, make him the cutest man car door hook hand, give him 2 sands like Santa's and Hans's, then tell him his sands and man's are Hans's. Sans man, sans
He said it was
man.
this big.
Wait. Sandman, Sanso a man, don't have no sanses to sand a man. Please turn on your sandy hands, Mr. Sandman, send me a hand. Mr. Sandman, man me a sand, make him the cutest man car door hook hand. Give him the sand that I'm not a hander, then tell him that his sands and mans are hander. Sandman, Sanso a man, don't have no sanses to sand a man. Please turn on your sandy hands, Mr. Sandman, send me a hands. Mr. Sandman, Sandman us a sand, give him 2 hook doors, cute man. Sandband in green. Wait, hand sandband in green, give him a sandy door. I can't. I give up. Oh, TikTok. I was wrong. Oh, wait. Oh, no. No. Shadow. No, light. No, shadow light? No, shadow light. Oh, it's gone. Oh. I think I might have messed up. Alright, see if it works now. It worked. Na. Hello. You wanna kiss me? You wanna give me a little kiss? Give me a little kiss. Mwah. 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 Yeah, I love that, man. I know if we gave a little bit, no, we're not gonna do that. That's Mr. Sandman, send me a man, make him the cutest. Oh, what's up, girl? No. Whenever. How do I? What am I placing? Whenever whenever life gets you. Night, Moreau. Whenever life gets you down, leaves you wearing a frown. We're gonna try again. Whenever life gets you down, leaves you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind. When you're all out of hope, down at the end of your rope, and nobody's there to throw you a line. If you ever feel so low, you don't. Sorry, I couldn't finish the song. We're gonna have to try again. One more time. One more time. All right. Whenever life gets you down, leaves you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind. You're all out of hope. I don't know how to beat you. Beat you in the face. Anyways, whenever life gets you down, leaves you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind. All out of hope, end of your rope. Nobody's there to throw you a line. If you ever feel so low, you don't know which way to go, come on and take a walk in my shoes. Never worry about a thing, got the world on a spring, 'cause I got the cure for all of mine, all of his blues. I take a look at my enormous debt, and my trouble starts melting away. I take a look at my enormous debt, and I start crying all day. Well, I cry and I shart when I look at my bank account.
Lizard, 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 lizard,
lizard. Yeah.
lizard.
Thank you. Green. Chad, it's Dondadon. It's the aliens from Dondadon. Be careful. They may try to. Well, we're not gonna. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No. One, two, 1, 3, 8. 1, 2, 1, 3, 8. 1, 2, 1, 3, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 3, 8. 1, 2, 1, 3, 8. Hello, nurse.
Each time when I come here, I am abused.
She's a smash.
She's a man-eater, man. Oh, I don't have enough money. Man-eater on the floor. Urban legend has it, a creepy weirdo named the Swinger Boxer. He can quickly swing his head from side to side, whatever. No, don't walk out, Chad. I need you. Chad, without you, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll be all alone here against the horrible, horrible monsters that are, on the internet. Please protect me.
You have no skills and you're a loser!
Oh. You're bored. You're bored. Well, fine, we'll play a different game then. I'm gonna play a different game then. I don't find anything else to do. Just gonna fucking join the trout population or something. What do you? Oh, go play fucking water park simulator or something. It's fine. It's so boring. Nobody likes my stream. I'll go play a stupid big titty game. We'll see. See, at least Boku cares about me. It's fine. See, Boku cares about me. Whenever life gets shoot down. Oh my god. What's up, man? No, don't. Why are you leaving? Oh, sorry. Me and him both chat. Oh. I'm dancing. I'm dancing. T-pose. Why? Getting jiggy with it. Na 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 na. Getting jiggy with it. Hi. La da da la da 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 da. Da 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 da. Sure, people got nobody. What am I doing? All right, chat. Clearly the game hates me. Clearly the game's like, Dreen, find a way to the hospital. Ah! Okay, so. Yeah, but I don't have money to buy the bigger gun. Yeah, no, see, there's not an option. It's like I can't actually. Yeah, give me the things, the ones that you're not supposed to eat, the nutrient bars. You know what I'm talking about. Calorie mate, give me some calorie mate. There's nothing I can do. Alright, here's what we're gonna try. We're just gonna run, okay? So dumb. Is that really loud, chat? Do I need to turn that down? Are we good? Okay. I think I know what I need to do. Come on. Come on. Too close, too close. Too close. Gosh. Come on. Right side. Ugh! Remember, the normal guys can eat 7. It's probably an absurd amount, TBH. I have... Oh, shoot. 8 in a mag. Testing why I'm whistling, chat. Ah, ran into him. Ah, this is so hard. No, I'm not winning, Gibbets. I'm not winning.
Are you winning, son?
All right. Hey, chat. Every time I pick that up, it keeps adding more ammo. I have not lost ammo. I'm at 383 bullets now. So annoying. $473.
You're doing great, sweetie.
I'm not doing great, but thank you. Come on. No, I already tried. You can't go further back. Nope. Nope. All right, did it. $473 ammo. Ooh. Thank you for the head pats.
When the hustle and bustle of the city gradually found silence and did not quietly fail, XXX Hospital, which should be a symbol of healing and peace, became a place surrounded in mystery and unease. Whenever the night is deep, a series of bizarre events are staged inside the hospital, which makes people feel really cold. There are all sorts of gruesome medical rumors circling around the medical staff, but the most shocking is the mysterious deaths of the hospital nurses.
Yay! You proud of me, chat? This has been goofy, but it's been a little fun. Right. Hi, chat. Sorry, I got distracted by a few things, couple things, 4 things. What? Boobs, boobs. We all on the same page. Boobs, boobs.
Or as I like to call them, titties.
Hi, boy Wally. How you doing? Welcome. It's me. I am. Me too. Oh, Stretch got it. And hydrate. Cheers.
Cock. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Boobs. I like my
Evil egg, evil egg, evil egg, evil egg, evil egg, evil.
We got to find the way to get to the evil egg.
Santa baby, la da 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 la da. Been an awfully good girl, Santa baby, so turn it on the chimney tonight. There is the evil egg. We're gonna kill the devil's egg right now. Don't forget, chat, October 22nd.
Floppy feet, floppy feet, floppy feet, floppy feet, floppy feet, no! Ah!
Teabag that man, teabag that man, teabag.
Anyways, sorry, chat. What I was saying is, remember, October 22nd is Gene Day. And you know what we're gonna do for Gene Day? It's gonna be sick. It's gonna be so sick, chat. I'm gonna bring snacks. I'm gonna set up a karaoke room. I mean, Boku, all I have to do is go. I like to play hardcore Minecraft. And all the girls immediately leave. I go. So what's your power level like?
The egg of the evil spirit, the huge egg which is bred by the evil spirit, absorbs the resentment of heaven and earth and will give birth to an extremely powerful terror monster when it hatches, causing life to be destroyed.
Nah. Yeah. Hey, Carmium. See, honestly, I'm a little lost right now, and I just want to ask you, like, what's your power level? Dude, mine's pretty high. Is your power level as high as mine?
They are, man.
I can't hear you with my headphones off. What redeem? There's no redeem. Am I insane? There's just a bonk. Thank you for the bonk. I got bonked. Thank you for the bonk.
Yeah. Ah, scheisse. Well. I suppose we are doing this now. All right, I can do this.
I can do this. Now, what voice is this? Where we at now? Oh, shit. Here we are. Well. Oh, fine. I'm such a cute little puppy. Yo, girl, what is up? Hello. Well, would you gave me the key? You're so nice. You are my best friend now. I hope you know this. You are special. Well, chat. I suppose Leo is mine, actually, out of everybody doesn't know this. I do think this is so funny, though. You're like, we're going to make this the Big Mac show. And then you're like, yes, except we're only going to talk about my favorite ship, LeoJene. LeJene. Sorry. There. So Raccoon gets Leo and I get what's your power level? I mean, Carnia, you could have something different. You just have yet to give me anything to give you. You are special. Can I? Well, there's not going to be a Jean-Luc. I'm so sorry, but I cannot do French. Do you know what's funny, chat? I've never sorry, I got distracted there. I don't think that I have ever you are special. Sorry, I've never actually heard like a normal French accent. All of them are like overblown. Oh no, they closed. All right, chat, do this math. 5, 7, 7, 8. What is this math? Okay, so it's 6. 6 und then, what is left over after that? So 2, 7, 6, 5, so 5. What's that would be? 5, 6. Oh shit, is it really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ehra.
Thank you. You look like you're stuck. Do you need a key? Oh, size. He moved. Okay. That was a little weird. You didn't have to do that. You could have been normal about it. You could have just been like, hello. I am a little girl who likes to scream at people, but no! You had to be weird about it. Anyways, we're very chat. Nah. Goodbye.
Chat, should I cook and draw Jean-Luc? Or finish my homework because there is a description?
There we go. I was that time. I mean, teabag the egg. All right, you're right. Teabag the egg. There we go. Evil egg. It takes that evil to the bank. Evil egg. Chat, we should start doing that. When people raid, just go evil gang. Weeping woman, by posing as a crying woman to attract prey, if you look her in the eye, she'll ingest your soul. So I close my eyes. Okay, fine, just for you. I will learn it. I will learn French. I will learn the French accent just for you. Oh, yeah. I have to learn some actual French too, though, right? French was painful. Never again. Okay, here we go again. Why are you? Ah! Do not be weird. Stop being... Oh, she got a little hat. Oh, it's a flower. Where are the floppy feet? I hear your floppy feet. Where are you flopping? Smash the alien. Yeah, why is the butter wet? I wet your buzzer. That's what I do, chat. I sneak into your house and I wet your buzzer a little bit. Really? Okay, send it to me. She teleports to her prey, forces the vehicle to look in the eye, and his mute officer go attacks. The only way to deal with her is to find her body and destroy it. Ooh, very good. I come into your house in the middle of the night, and there I am, and you're like, gee, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I've come to fetch your butter.
Chad will see you in 30 minutes with a sketch of Jean-Luc. Kind regards. The rat-eating gene's computer wires ping.
Do not eat my computer wires! That's what I do. I come into your house and I lick your buzzer. I go... And then your butter is all wet. You are special. Everyone is special in der Hitchen selbst special. Schneeflöckchen, Weißröckchen, wann kommt du geschneit? Das What the hell was that? Sorry, I forgot I'm not supposed to swear. Even if it isn't a stupid accent. Chat, don't you be bringing any sticks around here, okay? This is a no-stick territory. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it, Arthur. God damn it, Arthur. God damn it. Well, I guess we're all chat. All right, 9-9. I'm just gonna take a little guess here. You ready for this, chat? Is it like 666? Okay. 6666. Okay. No. This is stupid. I quit. I don't want to do math. I don't want to do math. What is this math problem? Okay. Something stupid, isn't it? Every number added together from 1 to 100 is... You're wrong? Holding on to 50-50? 50-50. You got it! What you can interpret that with one number. I got the nurse's arm. Driving into my car after. All you have to do is, I think it's like 1 exclamation point, or is it 100 exclamation point? I can't remember, but it's one of those. Remember, chat, we must find all the eggs. Oh, sorry, I forgot. God, all right, here we are. God damn, I got the tuberculosis. All I know is that I've been coughing and I've been spitting up them bloods. There it is. All right, we're gonna be down here. Way down here in the back of my throat for this one. Yeah. I'm getting lost already. Wait. It is. Oh, got it. We're back. We'll get him next time, Boku. Yeah, we will. I'll hear them slappy feet. If I was slappy feet, what? Why are you slappy feeting? Type of fucking wish. God, there it is. Man, I don't know. God, I ain't got a single clue, girly Bob. I ain't got a single clue. Hospital office tried to cover up the incident, attributing them to natural death is accident, but rumors spread like wildfire among the mid. Yeah? I barked already. You can't make me do it more than once. I mean, you can try your hardest, but I ain't gonna do it for you. Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bump is shaped like a deer. I already barked. Fine. I mean, by bark. driving my car right after. No, down on your knees for me, girl. I mean, what?
What? Oh, what? Yeah. Down my knees for you, girl.
Why would I need to put you in jail? You could go.
You could go. Ain't no mercy for nobody. But I mean, if I'm here, and you're out there, and he's in there, and you're here, but we're in there, but I'm in here. Actually, I forgot. We're out here. What I want to know is where's the sheriff?
Come on, Flap. And here come another one. Aim high. Aim for the head. Reload it. And we got him down. There we are. There we are. All right, we got it that time. Well, thank you, Colin. Thank you. Wait, was that outside? Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Fine, fine, chat. Just for you, we'll take a little detour, all right? You and I, we're gonna do a little thing. Y'all been too comfortable for too long. Y'all been too comfortable for too long. You can't blame me for this one. There you go. Now stay here. You behave yourself. You're only allowed to come out when you behave yourself, all right? Be good. No, ain't allowed. You can watch me from the iPad. There's blankets in there now. You'll be fine. You'll be fine, all right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm in my car right after a beer. Hey, Hey, Dutch. Dutch, that bump shaped like a deer. All right, where were we? Hey, Dutch. Hey, Dutch. Dutch, I think we gotta go downstairs now. All right, we're doing this thing. Oh, you're right. Never mind. I ain't gotta do no more Southern because that is done. I just found out that I could go deeper with the Southern, and I sounded close enough to Arthur Morgan that it made me very happy. I should do comparison and then learn how to do Arthur Morgan properly. Nope. No one gets free access. Lots of beautiful women. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Boop. Anyways. Driving in my car. Vanya, you goof. Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bump is shaped like a deer. D-U-I, now how about you die? Drive 100 miles an hour. Little did you know I I'm filled up on gas. I'm gonna get your fountain making ass. Pulverize the fuck with my Bergen truck. It seems you're out of luck. Truck. I'm so lost. I am. You were 16, going on 17, baby. The song is weird. Nope, everybody's staying in jail.
Please, let me out of the jail.
No! Bribe me. I take dollar donations, and that is enough for one free pass. Ah. No, Lupine, I am not. I am lost. I thought I knew where I was going, but now I'm lost again. Stop making out, Vanya. Stop posting pictures of me and Dar making out. Those were supposed to be secrets. I'll have some quesadillas and fajitas if you... Stop posting them.
I have some quesadillas and fajitas. I'll share if you let me out.
You know, okay, I want to talk about this. Danny DeVito looks like he can, like, he really, really makes a good quesadilla. You know what I mean? Like, any sort of, like easy food, but, like, he makes it perfectly. You can ask that man to microwave a burrito, and he's gonna microwave the world's greatest burrito, if you know. Wadeems. I'm such a cute little puppy. Why? Why is that one still there? I need to get rid of it. No, but somebody paid me for it. I don't remember how much I was paid for it, but... Alright, chat. I mean, you can try to break the jail bars however you want.
Will you give me a free access to be late as much as I want? Please.
No.
Or else I'm gonna try to break the jail bars.
Break the bars. Try it. You paid me for it? You did pay me for it. Dang. Okay. I might make a custom request redeem. At like 100,000 points, you can choose a potential custom, like, let me say kind of thing. Oh, we're trying to find the head. Oh. Oh. I forgot about the head.
Blows up bars with C4.
How dare you?
Natif was C4.
Okay. Apparently the bars are broken, so congratulations on getting out. My he, my ho, my ha, my ha. No napalm. Oh, here it is. Found it. The heck is this? Why? Why? I mean, at least the view was nice on the way out. I mean, what? Huh? Ta-da, da, 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 da. What are you gonna do with all that junk? All that junk inside your trunk? I'm gonna get you drunk. Get you love drunk off my humps. My humps, my lovely lady lumps. And check it out. There is no hug command. I'm gonna know. Bro, that was awful. Evil egg, evil egg, evil egg. Evil egg, evil egg, evil egg. Okay. This time I'll do better. La da da, la da da da. There we go. There we go. Hi, Allie, what's up?
Wolfer. Hello, Wolfer. How you doing? How you doing, Wolfer? This. Alright, we're gonna do this for a little while. Alright. I'm blue. I'm a deep up a die.
Why are you posting me? Why are we looking at... If you move, I'm gonna be upset. Oh. La da 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 da. Still trying to find all the evil eggs. I like this game. This game is a lot of fun. You know that? This game is a lot of fun. Like, I feel like I'm always engaged doing something. Hello, Iguana Boy. How you doing? They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. Wait, Vonnie, you're not a hobbit. Why are they taking you away? They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. God. They're taking the hobbits. Stop flappy feeding. Hello? Done. There we go. Sometimes you have to kill a hot nurse, chat. Sometimes you have to kill a hot nurse. There's nothing we can do about that. Look, if it's not my choice to kill the hot nurses, do you think they messed with the faces to make them less hot and it just didn't work? Because, I mean, they're still hot. Well, I think it falls back to Silent Hill. Do you know why Silent Hill's nurses were hot?
Because the man's in a guilt.
No, because he had he was suppressing his own urges due to his wife being in a situation, and so it was a like a metaphor for his like basically being horny and upset that he couldn't boink his coma wife. He wanted that cookie real bad. And you know, it's fine. Like I'm all for like really sexual things done for plot. Because it makes sense in context. Hello, Hoshi. Gather around, you lads and lass. No, when it's done for plot. I hate when you have like men and female armor are so very different. But then if it's done for a point, then that's great. Everybody's died until our tears have... Oh, we're not going to the Axis. Till our tears have dried, we'll drink and drink and drink and drink, and then we'll drink some more. We'll gather around and fight until the early morning light, and then wake up, wake up, wake up. Wait, wake up. And then go drinking once again. I'm not drunk. I am hilariously sober, unfortunately. Although the police have invested a lot of energy into... they're doing things! Oh, can we get a shout out for Hoshi, by the way? Hoshi? Cause this is Thriller, Thriller Night. Shout. We need more people to watch Hoshi. Shout. Ah! Ah! Girl, get off of me. Hoshi. Hoshi. I want to be the stream that people come to when doing like ASMR streams. You know, like they watch another stream for entertainment. Bye. And I just think it'd be so funny. No. And not showing up won't change anything, Hoshi. I will still shout you out if you don't show up because I like your streams and you're a good content creator. And you deserve all the attention. Mind you, not want any attention. They moved. Too close. Dang. Lovely, lovely Hoshi. Give me a reason. I don't need a deal. Give me a reason. Why would you like me not to shout you out? Do you just not want the attention while you're here? That's valid. If it's just like a comfort thing, then I will not shout you out. You can DM me. That's not a good reason. If you legitimately don't want shoutouts, Hoshi, I will not shout you out. I will praise you, but I'll just instruct the mods not to shout you out. Oh no. Shoot. You know what? Screw it. All right. Cause this is Thriller, Thriller Night. Thriller, Thriller, down. Hello, titties. Still good. All right. Still good. Oh, Hoshi, I never mind you falling asleep, Hoshi. You sweet and lovely cat boy. You're a very kind person, and you deserve... I forgot to grab the key. Nothing but kindness, okay? And if anybody wants to fall asleep or pass out or whatever, it's fine. Oh, I need to record that still for Vanya. Shoot, tomorrow's Friday. I was supposed to be learning a new song. I will not skin you alive. I'll skin you when you're dead. Okay. Don't worry, I'll wait till like die a natural death. It's fine. If I'm ever a serial killer, I'm gonna name myself Natural Causes. Vanya doll.
Aww. Chat, I am no longer able to complete that Jean-Luc drawing. My egg sandwich fell to the floor and I'm in state of total depression.
Oh, Pink. Can I order you a... I'm gonna make it mod for me for the rest of your life. Can I order you like food or something, Pink? Do you need... I'll buy you food. Oh, key. Oh, key. I've already been in both these rooms. Why am I getting this key again? I can order you a homemade. I don't know. Do you need more supplies? I'll buy you egg. I'll send you egg. Do you need an egg in this trying time? Okay, I think this is kind of funny. They definitely have the items. Yeah, exactly. No evil eggs. They definitely have the items set to like a respawn, like whenever you respawn, which, to be fair, is probably how I would do it. Because, like, thank you for the follow, Yuki. Welcome to the menagerie. I keep forgetting to say that. My little voidlings. If it, like, honestly, I feel like it's like a very easy, simple way of doing it. Of like, we can make sure the items are always there because they come back at spawn. And the player's not going to go backwards, right? So there's no reason for them to find the items again. So I think it's kind of funny. That's also, I think, why I can keep picking up the ammo, because it spawns with my character spawning. That's why I have so much ammo right now. No, Pink, don't. Is there any place you can order food from? I will legitimately buy you, I will buy you food right now. I will commission you right now. I will commission you, Pink, right this second. If there's a place you can order from, and I will send you money. I am lost. Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that, Pink. Yeah, but I would have eaten it off the floor personally. Yeah, but like even this is like how American I am. I don't even think of the
If you think about it, if you see a hot nurse that's a zombie, then no need to turn them down. You can be zombie girlfriend and boyfriend.
Valid. Okay, chat, food is really important to me, and if I drop it, like, unless it's like I drop it into dirt. Titties. Unless I drop it into dirt, like, I mean, I've eaten. Sorry, I got distracted. Okay, wait. Am I just dumb? Oh, I am just dumb. Okay. Eat the dog. Eat the dog. Eat the dog. No. That it? Oh, I'm muted just in time, chat. You didn't hear me explode. Okay, what am I missing? Girlies, do one of you have the key I'm looking for? Key? Titties. Key. I know it's obvious. The game... The game is not trying to rig this against me. The game is not trying to, like, just screw me over here, okay? I'm the one who is not doing. It's not the game, it's me. It's gotta be me. It's gonna be me. Bergamine Bear. Hello, Bear.
Hello, Bear. Hello, Bear. How you doing? I'm so lost right now.
High five. I am so very lost. I mean, it was scary and it was flawless. I loved this game, but I'm now running... Trying to find key. That's what the objective right now is. And I feel like I'm just dumb. Egg was in here. We broke egg. Egg gone. Yeah? Valid. Okay. Anything on shelf? No. And the game was pretty straightforward. Did this stuff? Good. Did everything here? Perfect. So in reality, where we need to go is in here. Right? This makes the most sense. Bye, Wolf. Have fun at school. Okay. Okay. That was fine. Now, when I walked too close, one of the nurses jumped out and attacked me. I went over here and a nurse attacked me, and we got the money. Now, over here. Nothing here. Can't jump. There's no jumping. No guy at the window. Good. We're good so far. There's nothing here with any of them. I have shot all of them, so we're good there. Egg was here. Egg dropped. Nada. Okay. And is there any sort of like... Okay, we did save, so I might do a restart just in case. Can't go there. I like my eggs poached, actually. Poached is my favorite kind of egg. I feel like I'm about to enter the dumb zone, chat. Okay, wait, we went here. This makes sense, okay? This is blocked off. So you have to go back here. And you have to find your way back here. So yeah, makes sense. There's a door back there. Yeah, exactly. Eggs Benedict is great. Okay, now we're back here. Easy peasy. And there's no... Okay, you know what? We're gonna... Okay. Broke thing here. Nothing here. Still good. Still Gucci. I wonder if that was supposed to be something. Y'all heard the sound, right? Oh. Okay. I didn't see her there before, but I mean... It's just a bunch of ammo in here, which is fine. I don't know, maybe. Oh, hey, Black Widow, it's been a little bit. Okay. Okay, that looks like something. That's not right. See, that's spooky. Oh, Andromeda, thank you so much for the gifted subs. I really appreciate it. Thank you, 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 thank you. Thank you. I really thank you. They won? Oh. Well, you know what that means. No. I can't gift you a sub yet. Well, then I'll have to give a random sub. Okay, we got the ammo. What am I missing? Hey, thank you for the follow, Crimson Chapel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. So confused. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am so lost. Wait. Oh. Wait. Wait. Oh, it's just a single coin. Wow. What was the point? What's the point of coming back here? Girl, stop going for my kneecaps. No, they are most definitely not. I only keep those open for content creation or collabs. But I appreciate the, yeah. Okay, well, at least I'm finding more. Okay, so here's passage 1 key. We got this. Fine. We're doing great. Amazing. We went through passage 1, right? Passage 1. Easy. They're not having us backtrack. I went through that whole area. I've been in here. No egg. Okay, thank you for the likes, Moon. Be good, Moon. Moonflower. We've been through the CT scanner. Easy. Done everything over here. Let's double check. Yeah, I can't go in there. It's going to be something, like, dumb that I should have known, you know? Did everything there. I got a bad feeling about this one. Oh. Okay, so I completely missed this one. There we go. There's one thing I missed. Evil egg, evil egg, evil egg, evil egg. Done. Okay, there's the last egg. Evil egg for the evil gang. Okay, that makes sense. So I'd seen this before and I'd completely ignored it. By the way, there's arrows on the ground. There's arrows on the ground pointing there, so completely my fault. As much as I wish, you know, maybe it weren't my fault. Do you know what's funny, Vanya? I didn't realize that dog emote that you keep posting was idiot, and I just thought it was a heartbroken dog. So this entire time you've been calling me idiot, and I haven't realized. Did you do that on purpose? Cause it's a dog with a broken heart. How does that represent idiot? Okay, see? Thanks, girly. Mwah. Be good. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Hey, yo. Oh. What kind of temple of... Wait.
Hi.
What does giving you 2 gold do? Why can't I give you gold? No way. Hey! Very cool. All right. Oh, what was this? No, I could have had the ability to jump. No! Ah, we gotta do it again. We're running it again, chat. We're running it again. Again. Okay. Right. The Kun-Kuns who live here have 3 large houses, each which is a treasure of their favorite chicken foot. What? 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 What is this? Deep in the dark forest of ancient times, I've forgotten corner. Pon. Okay, I'm not reading. Chat, I refuse to read. Why was I being attacked by a painting? What the heck? What is going on? Guys, this is so weird. This is so cool, though. What? More games need this. More games need to have, like, just a random, like... battle sequence. I love this. I love this. So dumb. Hello, Briss PM. What is up, my dude? Or dudette? Alright, here we go. I'm driving. Ah! What the heck was that? Got caught by Kun-Kun. What the heck is a Kun-Kun? I don't understand this, chat. The door broke. Why bro dancing? I mean, a little bit, but it's kind of goofy now. Why, Briss? You're not big on spookies? We're probably gonna end up going to just chanting in a little bit once I... Goofy, mostly. That cucumber deserves to live, apparently. Should I keep vibrating? I just want y'all to let you... Wow, words. Words are hard. I give up. Somebody else speak for me. Berg, you're new. Speak for me. Oh, it's definitely more silly right now. It was more scary earlier. Bergman, you have the microphone. Say anything right now. Say the next thing I need to say, and I will read out loud what you have to say, as if it's my own personal opinions in words. I'm sure that's gonna go great. Huh? Yeah, no, I... You can make me say anything right now. I am not secretly Clifford.
Gene is secretly Clifford.
Am not.
It's me. I'm the big red dog. Like a big dog and dog. Shit, I'm dogging it. Shit, I'm dogging it.
There we go. Okay, go with these. Fun fact: Clifford is Gene's Oshi. No. I have one Oshi.
Fun fact, Clifford is Gene's Oshi.
Oh, interesting. Anyways, I have one Oshi, and it's Brendan Lee Mulligan. Brendan Lee Mulligan is my one Oshi. We can all have Brendan Lee Mulligan as an Oshi. Who's flopping so wet? Oh, what were you? Arf, I'm such a cute little puppy. Yep, chat stinky again. And thank you for the redeem. Not a cute puppy though, not a dog. Briss, you seem traumatized. Every second you're here, you seem traumatized. Are you doing okay, Briss? I mean, Vanya, I can't say anything to you, but you know. Driving in my car right after a meal, hey, that no, shaped like a deer, die of 1,000 miles. He's so floppy. I hate how floppy they are. Little did you know I got you. Ready? Driving in my car right after a beer. Hey, that bump is shaped like a deer. DUI, now how about you dial? Drive 100 miles an hour. Little did you know I filled up on gas. I'm a get you fountain making ass. Pulverize that fucker for my Bergen truck. It seems you're out of luck. Truck! There you go. I hate how shaky this is. Driving in my car right after. God, he's so noisy. Thank you for the lurkies. I like the version of Kassan Tito better. I have not heard that. You would have to send it to me. Show it to me, Brish. Show it to me. I think in my car. What are they doing out there? Oh, I think one of my Instagram posts is doing really well right now because my phone keeps vibrating. I know, right? What's up, Floppy Chan?
Sounds like Siren Head is having special fun time.
Sir, get out. Sir, come back. Sir. Although she's often lonely, Pan Pan never regretted her choice. She believes that one day she'll be able to find a place that truly accepts her and understands her. Home where she's loved and respected without having to change herself. So goofy. Egg. 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 Evil egg, evil egg, evil egg. I think we forgot the first egg. I'll have to go back and get that later. Evil gang, evil gang, evil gang. What time is it? Did you just bonk? Why? Why am I getting... Ow. Why? That was so mean to me. I need to make that make a sound. Thank you for the head pats. I appreciate those. You like bonk? I don't deserve being bonked. I do my best to entertain. This feels like...
One more time before I go. New people, if you aren't in the Discord, it's a fun, safe, chill place. Great community. Join the madness.
Do I... What's the worst that can happen? Whee! I went out of bounds. Well, I think that's a good place to call it for today, chat. Honestly, there's more of this game to play. But let's hang out for a little bit. We'll do a little just chatting. We'll vibe a little bit, hang out, and then we'll call it just chatting. Have y'all had ooh, that's a scary face. Have y'all had a good time? Do you want to do, well, you can do a little dance party. Okay. Because the lovely BB No Money is, in fact... Dance party. Did you know this song is 4 minutes long? I never realized this song is 4 minutes long. That is crazy to me. But yes, all you lovely, 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 lovely new people, I hope you enjoyed your time today. I know Bohemian Rhapsody is 6 minutes, but Bohemian Rhapsody tells a story, and it's changing. It is not just la vaca, moo, la vaca, moo, la vaca. Hey! Oh, I'm glad all of you lovely, lovely new people have enjoyed your time here and have come here and have been all excited and cool. All of you have been great. Two more what? Oh, thank you for the follow, Super Sis. Thank you. La vaca, moo, la vaca, moo, la vaca, moo, vaca, vaca. Welcome to the jail. All right. Lovelies. Look, I have to lock you up here. Because if I don't, you might not be here when I get back. So, yeah. No, welcome to being back in the cage, chat. Welcome being back in the cage. Oh, we are friends. We're the best friends. And I wouldn't want to let you get away, would I? No.
Blows up cage with TNT.
Sorry. This one's TNT proof. I mean, look. If I let you out while I'm not streaming, something might happen to you. So I gotta keep you in the cage. Hey, stop hitting me. No, okay, I'm putting the cage, I'm pushing you further away. I'm going to push you away. What do you mean my insecurity? I'm worried about you, chat. So you know what? You can sit in the corner, okay? There you go. And look. I'll give you snacks again. There. We'll leave you with some snacks tonight, okay? Oh wait, that's not the right one. Here, we'll leave you some snacks. Just for tonight.
Take his stuff, bite his ankles.
There. Okay. So now you're okay? Everything okay, chat? What's that square, by the way? La vaca. Moo. La vaca. Moo. So yeah, you stay here. Oh, let me erase the Twitch chat. There we go. There. You'll be fine. I left you snacks.
Guys, wait, think about it this way. We don't have to pay for food or anything. We just complain to Gene enough and he pays for it.
Not possibly true. So, we're gonna find somebody to raid out to. Play a little BB No Money.
Chat, I have the extra set of keys. Pay me an extra food, and I might let you go on a walk. A long one.
Amazing. Okay. Let's find somebody to raid out into. But y'all have been amazing. I really appreciate y'all hanging out. Should we see if we can find somebody new to raid into? Let's see. Oh, wait. Is Cat... Cat's still going. Chat, we're gonna raid into Cat. You met them earlier. Jay Schlatt is live? That's insane. Alright, we'll go raid into the Cat. And just say, let's see, what do we want for raid message? All right, chat. Raid message. Evil gang, evil gang, evil gang, evil gang, evil gang. Copy the raid message. And I will see you all next time. You've all been so amazing. I appreciate you all so very, very, very much. Mwah. Be good.